you can favor
I'm
him
saying
over everyone.
Shakur beat everybody. It don't matter who it is. Shakur beating them, so it don't matter. Shakur over everybody. And that's how it's gonna be.
When you got that much money, you know what I mean, it's hard to be salty about anything, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's just the way that it is. It's the new era, it's the Devin Haney era, and that's what it is. And he's hanging on to the Floyd Mayweather era. I mean, so hard, he choked out Terence Crawford. He's still talking about he in boxing. Terence Crawford couldn't have an era to himself. And if you put Terence Crawford against any opponent on Floyd's resume, who do you have favorite? Terence Crawford or one of Floyd's opponents?
I feel like Shakur, just like Crawford was with me, Shakur has the ability to pass Terence Crawford.
Terence says Shakur beats everyone and is truly one of a kind. He laughs off Bill Haney's threats and boldly claims he would retire Bill's son, Devin Haney.
That boy's special. Shakur's, you know what I mean, one of a kind, you know what I mean? He adapt to every fighter, and then once he adapt to you, it's a long night.
So he can make Devin like give up his height, not necessarily have to just go after him.
We didn't see Shakur go forward. We didn't see Shakur stay in the pocket. You know what I mean? We didn't see Shakur move. We didn't see, you know what I mean, how defense minded he been. Like, Shakur is just all around a great fighter.
You feel like Haney should move up to 40 though, or stay at 35? Take the Shakur fight.
But I don't know. Listen. I know what it feels like to be struggling to make 135.
Bill Haney fires back, declaring this is the Devin Haney era, not Floyd's, not Terence's. He insists Devin doesn't need anyone to stand out, because Devin alone is enough to dominate.
It's an era where Terence was in the shadows of Floyd. And when Devin came along, there was no shadow that was big enough. Because we're not taking no prisoners. We know that our job is to get to the Mount Rushmore of boxing, where the greats are. And
Bill Haney adds that it's completely up to Shakur if he wants to fight Devin. Whenever Shakur steps forward, Team Haney will be ready, no hesitation.
They've always been one weight behind each other or one weight after. You know, Shakur will come up, you know what I mean? Devin will be at that weight.
Bill emphasizes that nobody in the sport carries an amateur resume as accomplished as Devin Haney's. He calls Devin a true fighter who stands alone with undeniable greatness.
You don't have that much amateur background and that much boxing in you to be saying that you're a TikTok star. He's trying to fool us with that smile and all that shit. You know what I mean? But he's a fighter. He's a fighter posing as a TikTok star.
Many fans argue that Shakur needs to stop delaying and step up now, prove himself against elite competition by taking on Devin Haney.
So he's motivated and inspired by his mentor, Terence Crawford, that his next fight should be versus Devin the Dream Haney, moving up to the 147-pound division, because with that victory, he'll become a 5-division world champion, 3-division lineal champion, because I'm sure that Turkey Al Sheikh Ring will put that fight, will put the ring belt on the line, because I believe that Devin Haney is probably the best welterweight at the moment. He'll accomplish all of that by the age of 29. 5-division world champion, 3-division lineal champion. Come on now. Hey, Shakur Stevenson, you the WBO champion, 140-pound division. You could easily petition the WBO to make you the immediate mandatory to Devin the Dream Haney. I think that's the best fight right there. Let me know what y'all...
Floyd Mayweather makes it clear that both Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson deserve support. He highlights Devin's 33-0 record with 15 knockouts and his early start as a pro. Meanwhile, Shakur stayed in the amateurs chasing Olympic gold. Floyd even believes Shakur should have been awarded the win over Roby Ramirez, but says both fighters should be celebrated equally.
Stayed in the amateurs to attempt to become Olympic gold medals. And he should have been. He beat Robeisy Ramirez, in my opinion. Nonetheless, he didn't get the nod. So, Floyd is saying that they should be celebrated, they should be uplifted, as you see here. Statement, right? They need to be treated fair. The issue that I have with this statement is that Shakur Stevenson was looking to actually sign with Floyd, and Floyd didn't sign him. Devin Haney looked up to Floyd Mayweather, trained with his father, trained with his uncle, trained with him. And he was eager to see Ryan Garcia beat him because he had a spat with Devin Haney's father, trainer, and manager, CEO of DHP, Devin Haney.
The irony, Floyd notes, is that Shakur once tried to sign with him but wasn't picked up. Devin, meanwhile, grew up idolizing Floyd and trained with Floyd's father, uncle, and even Floyd himself. Both fighters carry Floyd's influence in their styles. Mayweather can boost either of them, and even if his support has wavered, his recognition shows their importance in boxing's future.
Mayweather has the power to support these young fighters who look up clearly. Shakur and Devin model their game after him and look up to him, right? As they should. And how often does Floyd reciprocate that? Now I know he shows up. Shakur says when he calls, he answers. Devin says when he calls, he answers. He'll show up if they call, like to the gym, sparring. He showed up for Shakur, right? Show up for them at the fight for them. The way, and everybody's different. Don't get me wrong, right? He's enjoying the fruits of his labor. Promote them. When Shakur Stevenson won this fight against Tio,
Andre Ward shares his excitement about a Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson fight, one he genuinely wants to see. He respects Devin's confidence, especially after Devin said he'd take on both Little Bro and Big Bro, a challenge Ward calls dangerous. Ward says Shakur is in a very strong position, making the matchup even more compelling. Shifting topics, he predicts the Seattle Seahawks will beat the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, praising their coach's businesslike mentality.
And Big Bro. Yeah, I want to see
Meaning
that.
Keyshawn and Shakur.
I want to see it. Keyshawn is dangerous right now. I want to see it.
You got any prediction for the Super Bowl, Seahawks or the Patriots?
I think the Seahawks going to do it, bro. I think they're going to do it. Just the way they looking and the way they playing. The head coach has a temperament about him, man, where it's like, hey, we happy to be here, but we got business to handle.
Floyd Schofield gives his perspective on the current boxing landscape, especially around Devin Haney and Keyshawn Davis. He explains that Jay Prince carefully manages his fighters to avoid internal clashes. Schofield says Devin Haney is always ready for any opponent, and any fight with him is must-see. He adds that because Devin has already taken a loss, he may be reluctant to risk another setback, whether his record shows it or not.
No matter which one go up there, Devin is Devin. Devin going to show up. It's going to be a great fight with either one of them. Because Devin took a loss, and he don't want to take another loss, whether he got it cleaned off his record or not. He don't want to take another
fight, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Both of them are good fight. Even I don't think Keyshawn is going to beat Devin. I really don't believe Keyshawn will beat Devin.
Too much experience? Why?
I don't know. I just don't see. But off my prediction yesterday, I'm not gonna get that because people will say things. But skill wise, I don't believe this new Devin that showed up his last fight. Keyshawn is gonna be able to run through like he did Ortiz, a smaller guy who seemed like he didn't want to be in there.
I ain't gonna lie. As much as I don't like Devin, I did not expect it.
Schofield admits both potential matchups would be exciting, but he firmly believes Keyshawn Davis cannot beat Devin Haney. He says Devin's experience is far superior, and the version of Haney seen in his last outing is far beyond what Keyshawn could handle. He compares Davis's win over Ortiz, who looked disinterested, to Haney's sharp, resilient performance. Haney showed he can take punishment without folding, proving his toughness and skill.
And Keyshawn's performance wasn't great. It was good he stopped him, that the referee gave him a gift. Because the ref stopped it. He didn't even give Ortiz a chance to stand up. Not saying Ortiz would have won, but it wouldn't have been a knockout in that 12 seconds. No, that's what I'm saying, but it wouldn't have been a knockout. The ref gave that gift. He didn't even get his man the count to get up to 8. So, or to 10. So, I don't know. I would want to see the Keyshawn and Devin fight.
He do got some dog in him, so I would like to see that.
I like the new version of them though. I like the God more in it. The maturity of seeing them grow up as fathers. Like, yo, just to see these young men get into these points is amazing, and they still in their 20s. So I can imagine them in their...
Tim Bradley reflects on Terence Crawford's influence on Shakur Stevenson, just as Crawford once mentored him. Bradley places Crawford among boxing's all-time greats, worthy of a spot on the sport's Mount Rushmore. He believes Shakur could surpass Crawford, not by matching his multi-division achievements, but by seizing the opportunities Crawford was denied due to boxing politics. With his talent, discipline, and timing, Shakur can build a legacy even greater.
Shakur, just like Crawford was with me, Shakur has the ability to pass Terence Crawford. Listen up. Now, not in the sense of becoming 3-time undisputed and, going up, that many weight classes. Not from that standpoint. He already has 4 weight classes. Crawford is a 5-weight division champion. But in a sense of having the opportunities that Crawford didn't have. Crawford would have been even bigger than what he is if the politics didn't play into the sport at the time. And now that, you have guys like Turkey Al-Sheikh that is able to bridge that gap between promoters and, make these big fights happen. When Crawford couldn't get those big fights with like Thurman and Danny Garcia and Ugas and, he got it later with Sean Porter, but it was later. But imagine if Crawford was able to have that run and, Earl Spence, Danny Garcia, Ugas, Keith Thurman, the list goes on. If he would have had all those guys on his ledger, imagine how big Crawford would be. He would be even bigger than what he is today. Bigger than what he is today. So with that being said, with these fighters hovering around 135, these talented fighters, hovering around 135, 130, guys like, O'Shaquie Foster, like I mentioned, going to go up to 135. He's big enough to go to 135.
It's clear a major obstacle stands between these top fighters, yet when you watch Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson perform, you see that outside of controversy or unfair tactics, they are incredibly hard to beat. Both men respond directly to each other, keeping the rivalry heated and the anticipation alive.
Cool in a way. But nonetheless, as you watch these two fighters fight, you can clearly see, outside of cheating, they're more than likely not going to lose. Right? With that said, Devin Haney immediately responds to Shakur. Shakur responds to Devin. Right? Again, we had the initial 4 kings. It was Devin, Ryan, T.O., and Tank Davis. Right? It was supposed to be the 4 kings 2.0 from the Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran. And I asked Shakur.
The discussion often returns to the modern 4 kings, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, and Gervonta Davis, mirroring the era of Hagler, Hearns, Leonard, and Duran. But Shakur Stevenson is sometimes overlooked, much like Wilfred Benitez was in the original era. Benitez beat Duran, who struggled with other legends, yet his name is rarely mentioned with theirs. Shakur faces a similar challenge, being recognized among today's greats despite elite skills. History shows that overlooked fighters often prove themselves, and Shakur may do the same.
King era, but nobody mentions Wilfred Benitez. And the fact remains is Wilfred Benitez beat Roberto Duran as well. And Roberto Duran is 1-4 against those guys. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard the first time. Outside of that, Roberto Duran, he lost to shit. He quit against Sugar Ray Leonard. He got knocked out brutally by Tommy Hearns. He got outboxed by Marvin Hagler and outclassed by Wilfred Benitez. Right? But he's overshadowing Wilfred Benitez. And I felt like these guys, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, and T.O., overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. And now Shakur Stevenson has shined the light by dominating Teofimo Lopez.
Analysts highlight
that the rising tension between Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and Keyshawn Davis has become one of the sport's most compelling storylines. Haney is praised for his discipline, sharp jab, and high ring IQ. Shakur stands out for his defense, timing, and precision. Davis brings youthful hunger and fearless confidence.
But obviously he believes in himself and that he will beat Devin Haney. To that, Devin Haney responded, "I believe you're a tremendous fighter, but I'll beat you." And then Devin Haney stated, well, I want to fight your little brother, who is Keyshawn Davis, superstar, WBO former lightweight world champion, who called out Devin Haney and stated because he didn't like how Devin Haney treated him when he was younger, when Shakur brought him around, so on and so forth. So Devin Haney said, you know something? I want to fight Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn, let's make it happen. And then you're the little brother, because Shakur and Keyshawn made it abundantly clear they have no interest in fighting each other because of their relationship, although they're not blood brothers. So Devin Haney said, well...
Together, they form a rivalry reminiscent of legendary eras, each fighter representing a different stage of development, but all driven by ambition and greatness. Haney's consistency, Shakur's adaptability, and Keyshawn's hunger create a triangle of intrigue that fans can't ignore. These potential matchups could define the next era of boxing.
Puts up a cryptic message and responds and says, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. Well, remember, Devin Haney made an offer when he was at 135 to stay at 135 to fight Shakur. Shakur didn't like the offer, which means Devin Haney's more than willing to make the fight. Devin Haney is saying, if you want to make the fight, his father, trainer, manager, Bill Haney, CEO of DHP, Devin Haney Promotions, is saying, we'll make the fight gladly, but we're not doing a 10-pound rehydration clause. So Shakur is saying, be careful what you wish for. Skills pay the bills, as Shakur said. And Shakur said he don't like people putting rehydration clause on people because it handicaps them and you can't get credit. Well, then he says on Najee with Cigar Talk that Devin Haney is not a...
That wraps up today's video. Like it. Comment it. Subscribe to Fight Vault Boxing Glow.